Hello, Tiger. You look very concentrated. What are you doing?
Hi, Mimi. I am studying about an international organization because I am going to do a trip soon.
Interesting. Could you tell me a little bit about this organization?
Sure. I will explain it to you in parts so I can study in a more entertaining way. First, it's important to know where this organization comes from or why it was created. So, the first thing I did was to study about its history. The Commonwealth of Independent States was founded on December 8, 1991, in Belarus. This was due to an agreement between the countries of Ukraine and Belarus together with the Russian Federation practically to put an end to the Soviet Union. It took few years to them to adopt the Declaration and Protocol of the Agreement establishing the CIS, and the countries that adopted it were the former Soviet republics Azerbaijan, Belarus, Armenia, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Ukraine, and Uzbekistan.
You mean it's like an organization made of Russian countries and similar to organizations like the United Nations or something like that?
It is similar, but the CIS does not function as much as normal confederation. It was 11 states since Georgia joined 3 years later. By December 21, the Soviet Union was already disintegrated.
And what does this organization do?
Well, the CIS is in charge of coordinating the finances, laws, and security of its member states. However, few of these powers are exercised at the supranational level, which is highly criticized.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, there are 11 states that belong to the CIS?
Yes, exactly. I have already named them to you, but Georgia and Ukraine were it in 2009 and 2014, respectively, due to the difference in political and ideological developments.
And how it's organized? Has it succeeded with this purpose?
Well, actually, these years the CIS has tried to perform it in the best way, but the results have not been seen as much as expected. It is incredible, but now 56% of Russians regret the dismantling of the USSR, and only 21% support the CIS and want it to continue to function. But practically, the organization does not have as much power as the European Union or even the United Nations would have. Vladimir Putin has set himself the task of renewing and promoting the organization's initiatives, including the Collective Security Treaty, such as the military alliance. But there are major political and economic differences that complicate the situation. For example, Azerbaijan and Armenia have clashed militarily, and while this is happening, Russia has modernized its army, causing the suspicion of its partners.
So, is Putin in control of all this?
At the moment, he has the power to want to control and support the development of the CIS. However, it has its organization through institutions, which are Council of State, Council of Heads of Government, Council of Foreign Ministers, Council of Defense Ministers, Interparliamentary Assembly, which meets twice a year in St. Petersburg. The Assembly has standing committees on legal affairs, economy and finance, social policy, human rights, ecology, and natural resources.
Interesting, but according to what you tell me, this organization does not represent much of the economy of its member states, does it not?
Well, this organization, according to what I have read, has not responded so well to the demands of its states and economically has not reached to represent what does, for example, the European Union, because its states are not really so united, as a whole have not found a way to benefit economically, and that changed the perspective that one has of the CIS.
Wow! That being the case, what is the point of it continuing to function?
As I told you, Putin is the one who has a great interest in this working.
And yes, this gentleman is very powerful.
Yes, and I see that you are interested in this topic.
Not only me, more friends have joined us.
Hi guys! Hi! I'm not really used to these topics, but you explain in a way that one can imagine everything that happens. Oh, thank you! So you want me to keep talking? Yes, please. Perfect. So now I will talk about the economy of the organization. As you can imagine, of all the countries that make up the CIS, only Russia is doing really well economically. So their global growth is not visible. Definitely, the economies of these countries have not grown as expected. The only states whose economies have improved in the last decade are the three Baltic states that never joined the CIS. The economies that make up this organization are economies in transition, and with COVID, investment flows to these countries decreased by 38%. Oh! Yes, say by the United Nations. Well, let's move on to a more cultural side.
Right!
Well, as you know, the states that make up the CIS are ex-Soviet. You can say that there is a mixture of Europe and Asia in this organization. The Asians are the Central Asian countries: Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan, and part of Russia. Together, they form a population of more than 51 million inhabitants and include more than 100 different ethnic groups. They were also centers for the development of Islamic culture. The nomadic culture is what makes them stand out. In fact, the traditions of countries like Kazakhstan make it in part the largest and most economically developed country in the region. And finally, the religions are Muslim, Sunni, and Roman Orthodox, and in Europe, the Armenian and Orthodox religions. Additionally, its location makes it geographically strategic continent because of the Silk Road, which connects it with the Middle East, Europe, South Asia, East Asia. The grouping of Central Asian countries provides us with high mountains, deserts, and grassy steppes. The Asia side has the Caspian and Aral Sea, and the European side has a small part of the Black Sea. All these countries form an area of 22,275,700 square kilometers. Their locations allow the production and export of oil and natural gas. And what are the languages? The CIS has representatives from each state. However, each country has its own languages. These are Turkmen, Russian, Kyrgyz, Uzbek, Tajik, Turkish, Romanian, Ukrainian, French, Armenian, and Azerbaijani. Almost all countries share Russian, as a large part of the population of these countries speak it.
And what's the point of studying it if it hasn't done much for the welfare of the members? Are there any treaties or agreements that can be solved?
Well, despite everything, there are attempts to improve, and there is a treaty called the Commonwealth of Independent States Free Trade Agreement. It was signed on October 18 in the year 2011, when Ukraine was still a member. By 2013, it was not enforced, but it was ratified by most of the countries. Now it is in force for trading goods, since according to the WTO, it includes the elimination of tariffs at the end of the implementation period, which was the last year. Rules of origin, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, technical regulations, standards, safeguards, mechanisms, anti-dumping measures. Of the issue of accession, any third party can join and ask for disputes. An ad hoc procedure can be made and the provision for financial compensation. Interesting. There is talent, we just have to support it. Ha 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 ha, like the meme. Maybe. Finally, I am going to tell you about the legal acts and other CIS documents. Actually, they have many documents that they have synced and are about to sync. I am going to name some of them. The decision to establish exhibition and trade centers of the CIS member states in the territory of BDKH. Also, a protocol decision on the preparation of a draft agreement on free trade in services, which is very interesting. And the decision of the implementation of the Framework Program of Cooperation of CIS members states in the field of peaceful uses of atomic energy. Atom CIS cooperation, and there are many more, but I don't want to. Oh, I see you are asleep, only you are awake. Wow, sorry, Tiger, it's a little late. But it was really great. We learned a lot. Forgive me, I am very passionate about this topic. Go get some rest. I will do the same to continue tomorrow with my studies or other equally great topics. It was great and hope you have a great trip and learn a lot. Bye. Bye.